Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm having a walk at the Wonthaggi Desalination Plant and Ecological Reserve. We're going in to have a look at some of the flora, possibly if there's some animals around like some kangaroos. We may even see an emu or two. I've heard a little whisper that there is a interesting banksia for us to have a look at. So we'll go and inspect that, and I just want to see, how the overall environment is looking in this region. So let's go and check it out. This spot looks like it was a low-lying swampy type area, so there's plenty of melaleuca growing in here. Now this part of the desal here, most of it was farmed back in the day, so all these plantings here quite recent, maybe in the last, 10 to 15 years. It's been re-vegged. As you can see, the wind turbines over this side. Still got a lot of growing to do, some of these plants, but I think this was an offset when they built the desalination plant. They had to offset it with some vegetation. I don't know how many acres of re-veg they had to plant out in here, but it's at least it's giving something back to the environment. Noticing some swamp gums, some bidgie-widgie, a perennial herb growing here. The bidgie-widgie gets all those little, they're like a little round sticky ball, and they get stuck on your socks and all over your clothes. But they're one of our little indigenous species in the area. There's a little ridge up beside me. Usually later in the afternoon I've seen a lot of kangaroos hanging out in that area. Banksia integrifolia. They love the sandy conditions and the good drainage up there. Over the back you've got the sand dunes onto Williamson's Beach. It's a nice bit of habitat here under this Phacinia. There's a large wombat hole by the looks in there. Our main two species in this region are the Banksia integrifolia and Banksia marginata. But integrifolia is the much larger and more common of the two. One of the most stunning Banksia integrifolias I have ever seen. So prolific, with all the flowers standing out and presented on the ends of the branches, just waiting for a wattle bird or a honeyeater to come down and have a munch on. But as you can see, these are your usual forms of your Banksia integrifolia. They're sort of much more upright and robust. And see, these Banksias aren't in flower yet either. But then you got this one, like it's one out of the pack, and it's got an absolute stunning display of flower cones on there. Look at that. Great source of nectar for the honeyeater birds. Look how many flower cones are on the branch there. Absolutely stunning. This batch of Banksias and vegetation was planted in around 2014, and this size growing really well. These are your Phacinia nodosa, great habitat, grassy things for the, they get these little balls on the ends of the leaves, and the insects love them. Some sweet bursaria here. Over here we've got some Leptospermum lavagatum, a black she oak, Alocatarina littoralis. I want to show you some of the new plantings. This Banksia's got quite a few cones on it, but nowhere near as prolific as that other one back there. Yeah. That's where you usually see some kangaroos through here. We're just walking into this area here where there's been some newly planted species, I think there's quite a few Banksia integrifolias in here. Yeah, they've had a bit of a hard time, some of these new Banksias they put in here. We had a -2 degrees frost the other week, and some of the Banksias had been burnt. Hopefully they bounce back. Yeah, look at that. You can see some of these Banksias, the growth has really stunted from the southwest wind and probably some kangaroos chewing on the tops. But yeah, this also contributes to making the plants a real interesting compact form. Sun's starting to come back out again, beautiful. The Friends of the Wonthaggi Heathland and Coastal Reserve plant out this area here, and then over the hill the desalination plant are in charge of that area over there. So yeah, but we'll just take you through and see if we can spot any emus. Now the emus are not indigenous to this area. Apparently they've escaped out of someone's farm. But yeah, I see them in here every now and then. I love getting out for walks like this. Help not only keep me fit and mobile, but freshens the head when I'm out here. I'm not thinking of anything else apart from, well, I'm talking to you guys of course, but yeah, I'm just looking at the plants, breathing in the fresh air, seeing if I can spot an animal or two, and just immersing myself in the elements and enjoying nature. And I think that's, pretty hard to beat. Here's your common Acacia longifolia coming out in the flower here. Yeah. The coastal tea tree in here, walking through little walkways like this, always remind me of visiting Wilson's Promontory when I was a kid. Kind of daunting how big these things are. You can just hear this swooshing, big swooshing sound. Yeah, that gives you a bit of an idea on how big these things are. This is a spot where I usually see the emus too, but I can't see any at the moment. I can see a whole heap of kangaroos over that way, but yeah, a bit far away for you guys to see it. Right, so there we go. I've had the drone up. I had a bit of a pan around and a look back at the vegetation towards the desalination plant, and then out towards the coast, which is only just over the hill. As usual, it's starting to get a little bit late now, so I better head on my way back. One time walking through here, I came across probably 10 in a little bunch of the painted button quail. I didn't have my bloody camera on me either, did I? But yeah, really cool to see the little native birds and animals that can come back when a place is revegetated. It'll never be the same as it originally was, but at least it can become a refuge again for our local fauna to thrive. And then unfortunately, I haven't seen them since I came back. The very next time I came back, I saw 2 foxes, and they were right near where those little quail were. But yeah, hopefully they're still around, and yeah, hopefully the pest foxes haven't gotten to them. The Victorian Wonthaggi Desalination Plant is an awesome place to visit. There's walking tracks as far as the eye can see. So that's it from me today. If you'd like, you're welcome to hit the subscribe button, chuck a comment down there, ask a question. I'm happy to answer. If you have any suggestions on places you think I might like to visit, I'm open to that as well. stay tuned for plenty more content coming your way. Until next time.